Oh yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Mhm.
Here we are.
Yes, we're here again for the
Last, number 4.
the end of a cycle.
Mm,
Yeah.
true.
So maybe we could do intros again just to
Yeah, yeah,
us just in case someone missed something.
yeah, totally. So,
Yeah. So I'm Barry. I am a queer non-binary content creator slash storyteller, actor, singer-songwriter, and Lorenzo. You want to say hi?
Hello, I am Lorenzo. uh, I feel like I'm all the things you are, maybe.
And maybe more.
No. I also am a content creator on YouTube and TikTok, and I do LGBTQ educational and advocacy work. Um, and I'm also currently a professor at Ohio State, but that's just a side gig. You know, that part-time job.
Yeah.
That's it. And non-binary, they, them, all those things.
Yeah. To they thems.
The they thems over here.
Two of us.
We are they both singularly and collectively.
Oh yes. It works for both. And yeah, and what about you, Fanyan? We know. Does everyone know?
I am a catharsis guide, emotional alchemist, teacher of yin, shadow integration guide, helping you to eliminate your shadows, help you work through your core wounds, and erupt into your true self. Yeah. And here we are with Unblocking Abundance. You know, abundance, I guess the theme throughout has been that abundance is the natural state. We just got to figure out what are all the things that are standing in the way of really us embodying that and fully knowing that to be the truth. Hello?
Yeah.
Sorry. I pressed. I was trying to make you louder, and then I pressed.
We had a video malfunction.
We're back.
We're back.
Yeah. So yes, we've been excavating and also having illuminations and also with new things developing in the realm of abundance. Yeah. I feel like it's always a one-to-one. As you unravel or unlayer things, then things just shift in your external reality. It's one-to-one.
Oh, right. That's so true. You're shifting the internal, and then you see more abundance in your life, or more. It's like things fall away quicker. That's how I feel. Things are changing really quickly, or shifting.
Yeah, it is. Just in general though, but do you feel that? I'm feeling that for sure.
I'm feeling that.
Yeah. Like nothing can really stay in a stuck place for long, or it just gets really painful and you just have to really look at it. And I think avoiding things and being in denial, maybe it's worked before to some degree, but I feel more and more energy is the frequency is shifting so that we can't stay in that state for too long without being in complete utter agony and then having to have revelations. So this is what I guess catharsis is about. Like let's get there. Let's deliberately consciously go there so that we minimize the time spent in agony and suffering.
Yes. Yes.
More quickly get in alignment with what your true self is wanting to experience.
And do you think the agony and suffering is inevitable at some points, just even if it's just a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. Because they're little alerts from your inner being.
Mhm. It's like that contrast is important to help know what you really want sometimes, to have that initiating starting point.
Yeah. It's like trying to get your attention. Look at me.
Mm.
So I think we minimize the agony and suffering when it first happens. We can be like, oh, hey, something's happening. Let's not avoid it, ignore it,
Mm.
bypass it, and
Yeah.
unravel what its message is.
Mm.
Yeah, I do think this work does make it pass a lot more quickly when you just are directly facing it.
Yeah.
I was dealing with so much of that this week pre-trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What was
Yeah,
for you?
I had so much coming up for me. I don't want to take too much away from you guys talking, but I was so nervous about this trip.
Yeah.
I had a lot of past experience and family dynamic struggles coming to the surface for me. And I was having to I was reliving a lot of things and then wanting to pass through it faster than it really was passing. I wanted to be done and move on and improve my vibration already, but I had to kind of sit with the discomfort a little bit and allow it to pass on its own. And then when I got here, I felt great. So it was really just that anticipatory processing of past things and then releasing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving through the
Yeah.
passageway to make it through the canal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which then is like a little bit some kind of resistance there with I need to get there already.
Yeah. The getting there already, wanting to be in that new spot. And I think what my shift was personally was that I just got so sick of the subject. I was so tired of thinking about it all the time. And I was like,
Which
I don't want
subject?
to think about this anymore. The family stuff.
Oh, like marinating, like tired of marinating in that
Yeah, tired of
pain.
remembering past things or worrying about things. And I was just, yeah, I got to a point where I was tired of the subject and wanted to move on. And that's when the real release actually happened. I had overworked it so much that I was like, okay, no, I don't want to think about this anymore.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. What is that called? Some kind of well, not analysis paralysis, but some kind of something fatigue. You just
Yeah.
brain
Mhm.
I've heard of decision fatigue.
decision fatigue. Yeah,
Which,
something like that.
yeah. But I feel like it is the same thing, just that you have so much going on I internally where it's like fatiguing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Maybe some kind of wanting to thinking that if you think everything through, you can control the outcome better and you can avoid something unwanted.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of goes back to that thing that you said last week, or maybe it was the week before, about how you you tell yourself that this is not the past situation, this is a new scenario that
Mm.
so you don't have to hold on to the old story of how it was in the past.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess you can mentally know that, but then like physically going through that is kind of another process.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. For your physical and emotional to link up with your mental understanding.
Mm.
Sometimes there's a lag. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
You know what I'm just realizing right now? Well, before we started these series, Barry, you were kind of in this state of wanting to be together with Lorenzo. in the same
Really?
space.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've wanted that for a while.
And here it's happening right now. So I feel
Whoa.
like this is so good at manifestation.
Whoa.
Your abundance
Yeah.
manifestation.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Damn.
Like
yeah, thanks for your abundance.
we're
And
in different states and now you're together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
giving everyone the context.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a relationship is a state of abundance. I mean, but then I
Mhm.
feel like, okay. I mean, I have so many things I did bring to the
Okay.
or write down that I wanted to think about. I mean, one of the later things, but I guess it's relevant to what you're saying is uh there okay, wait, actually this is not something I wrote down, but in a relationship when you have two people and you have your whole collective lives, then you're kind of I mean, I feel like it can bring out you can wait, you froze. Oh no.
Oh,
It can make your individual missions even more uh, to the next level. Like you can amplify each other
yeah.
if it's the right match. I feel like we can amplify each other to the next level. Um, and but also, I think in relationships, I feel like a lot comes up that you haven't dealt with, like on your own. You don't necessarily deal with.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That
Totally.
and I mean, I feel that for myself that sometimes things come up and I don't necessarily okay, so what am I asking? How do you have the most abundance in a relationship when you both are going through your own stuff and your own realizations?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, just how do you I mean, I feel like we have been doing it. Like we're both doing our own kind of healing journeys and
Mm.
speaking about stuff we process all the time. But then how do, yeah, in your thought.
Oh my goodness. I kind of wish Maxwell was here.
Oh, well, you can listen to it later.
Yeah. But I feel like it's like there's definitely a lot of double transmutations happening
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
that completely because it's such a, like you're saying, in a relationship when you're coupled, then everything they're thinking about or feeling is also becomes a mirror to yourself. Yeah. And also, uh, so you're getting to see yourself so much more clear because you're constantly interfacing and needing to be, I feel like even more authentic. Like there's something that goes unseen when you're just on your own, but when you're in a relationship dynamic, so much more comes up because you're constantly relating to each other. And so I feel like there's just so much more amplified growth and healing that comes from being in a relationship where
Mhm.
you're both committed to growth and expansion and authenticity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I just had an aha that I mean, and even your partner can recognize things that you might not be doing consciously. This
Yeah.
happened today where Lorenzo was like, we were trying to film a video and Lorenzo was like, you're being performative. And I knew that subconsciously, but I didn't actually know I was putting on
Yeah.
like being performative. Whereas that's kind of like a front of what I think I need to be or what I
Uh-huh.
think people want from me or something.
Uh-huh.
So I think it can even make it even more powerful in that someone else can see where you have blocks. Where I was going to ask you also, like, how do you see where your blocks are if you aren't aware of them? Because sometimes you don't know
Yeah.
what your blocks are.
Yeah. But they come up daily in with the mirroring. And it's so cool. I mean, it's also really painful sometimes to
Mhm.
have your person like tell you something um that is shedding a light to something that you feel shame about, but, lovingly, but,
Yeah, I was lovingly.
Yeah,
I was just like, be
but
your
just being a
authentic
true
self.
leader. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Pretend the camera's not here. Just be you.
Uh-huh.
yeah, wow. Yeah. Mhm.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. And I just feel like there's so much it just opens up for so much interdimensional healing. Like, okay, there was an example just earlier. Max and I were driving back from Idlewild, and it was kind of curvy, and I was kind of in this high with and I just felt really open. I just started channeling stuff about my visions for the year and my desires and all getting into it. And then all of a sudden, he's like, I'm feeling really overwhelmed right now. The road's really curvy. The food was really intense. Just like, and so I kind of took it as, can you stop talking? I mean, that was essentially me. He's like, I think I really need just quiet time right now.
Mhm.
And
Mm.
then there's a moment of pain where he's having this experience where he's overwhelmed and I'm feeling like, oh no, I'm being too much. And oh, my dreams and visions aren't
Yeah.
so valuable. You just want me to be quiet now.
Mhm.
It reminds me of, I don't know, inner child stuff, like being too, yeah, I'm being
Definitely.
rushed. And then we just pulled over and had this moment of coming into this reflection, like what's here, and realizing, he's voicing so much of like what I felt before
Mhm.
with other people, like being overwhelmed, but kind of just feeling like, oh, having to stuff something down
Mhm.
just for the sake of letting the other person have the space. And so by having compassion for him, I'm also having compassion for myself that was in those situations. And also getting to separate that from just me and my own feelings about being too much. And then getting to hear from him, no, it wasn't that you're too much, but it's just that I was feeling this. So, yeah, just a lot of things going on with like multiple layers of healing and witnessing and seeing myself in different roles and having compassion for every each role.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like both of those roles I personally have been into, where I've felt overwhelmed, or I've been the one like I'm being too much. Like, so it's interesting how all of this can be, I don't know, different perspectives, and then seeing somebody else and the mirroring all of this.
Ah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
what is really, it's really beautiful that you both had that space where you could address what was happening,
Mhm.
and work through it, and instead of moving on and forgetting about that situation.
Yeah. And that he's trying to exercise with me, breaking his own patterns of just staying silent and speaking
Mhm.
up. And we're really into pattern interrupts, like interrupt the usual pattern you would do just to be nice or just to be accommodating, and how you can advocate for yourself and know that you will be accepted unconditionally.
Mhm.
Yeah. And yes, my feelings were hurt, but I'm also, in a way, I'm like, I'm glad that you spoke up because I don't want you to just be in pain
Mhm.
and letting me just do that. I want to know the reality and not just be in my own bubble. I want to have us be in a shared reality.
It's actively changing those practices
Oh,
too.
wow.
Like taking the choice to chat to change the patterns.
Yeah, to change the
Yeah.
pattern. Yeah. And just recognizing we're both in pain right now, but
Yeah.
let's like sit with this together and support each other.
I love that. Could I ask a question that's kind of related to this? You were talking about like the having all of the cups filled, I think in a former abundance session.
Yeah.
But something I think Barry and I were talking about in one of our many voice notes is that and I think this came up in the abundance session as well, when when either of us are in a good place, we have a lot to give and we want to be able to support our partner. But we were both discussing moments in which maybe neither of us are in, and we're trying to take some alone time to heal separately.
And like
So
fill your own cup. You need to like fill your own
yeah.
cup, right?
So how to negotiate that space between us when nobody has anything to give to the other
Goodness.
person?
Yeah.
Like, how do you deal with that? Because sometimes it is that balance of, okay, I'm feeling pretty good today. I have some extra support I can offer you because you're not in a great spot, or vice versa. I'm not in a great spot, but you have some extra to give, or we're both in amazing vibrational places and we are like living the life and it's all is well and all is vibing. But then what about that time when we're both not in a good place? How to negotiate the space of
Yeah.
the relationship?
Yeah. That's a tricky space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also in that low energy, maybe more scarcity place, then it could be that I want to feel supported, but if the other person's like, no, I need my energy for me, it can feel like rejection.
Mm.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we are all
Having,
definitely working through that. Just take like not what to do with the feelings of rejection when my cup is empty and I want support, but his cup is empty or he needs to fill up his own cup. And yeah, and working with those feelings there.
Yeah, so in that space, what do you do? Kind of just
Yeah. So
focus on your thing?
so usually it'll be the needs are spoken. And then if we find out that each of our needs are kind of we're having a needs conflict where I need support but he needs alone time, yeah, that's the pattern. Then it's like actually it will open up into some kind of needing assurance, knowing that no, like there's unconditional acceptance here or love here. Like me needing alone time does not mean it's a rejection of you.
mm,
Just kind of a lot of it's for my adult self knows, but my it's my inner child that's like, oh, this means you don't love me, kind of thing.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's definitely some uh like baby holding that happens. Hmm.
Mm.
I find that yeah, in our dynamic, usually it usually turns out that once we start kind of talking about the block that's there with he's in scarcity and I'm also in scarcity, and once we kind of just explore that scarcity together, that usually opens up to just more connection and realizing, oh, it wasn't that I needed this a long time. We just needed to have this understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah. And this understanding that also I'm not going to reject him for wanting that. And that I don't perceive him to be rejecting me for feeling this way.
Mm-hmm.
And through that kind of um, witnessing what that pain is or the block and just giving it space to have understanding and we're just kind of yeah looking at it talking about the different layers of feelings and usually that opens up to oh I don't feel scarcity anymore and I feel totally secure with you doing your thing and because we just had this deep connection through this.
yes. Yeah. Okay. I have this, or I remember that in order to have that conversation, I guess you have to know that it's safe to have that, and by you revealing what you actually need, you're not going to be left or judged. I think I think this feeling has come up lately where I feel like I guess we did kind of talk about this before, but like I feel maybe there's parts of me that haven't been seen in a while that that only come up in relationships that are not ugly but like undesirable. Like maybe there's parts of me that aren't going to be loved, and it kind of feels slightly scary that maybe this will come up and then my partner will not like me anymore because I'm not what they think I am. Like maybe sometimes
Yeah.
like that performative thing. It kind of I mean, you said it in a nice way, but it kind of made me realize, like, what if I'm always performing, and what if I don't know, just what if, who even am I? And if you really see who I really am, are you gonna even like me? I don't know why that came up. I just,
Yeah,
it's really deep seated because it doesn't come up often, because I feel like I've been so I'm so independent, and being alone for a long time, I feel safe in that no one's gonna leave me because I'm just fine by myself.
yes.
But yeah, okay. Everything's fine. I didn't realize this was gonna come up.
Thank you so much for sharing that. It's so real. Yeah, I'm so
Mm.
there's a certain kind of safety with no one seeing you. And
Yeah, totally.
You can be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
You don't need anybody. So if they leave you, you're
No.
fine.
No one's gonna leave you because you're just, yeah.
You're already alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is so, and that is the thing with allowing yourself to be seen and allowing yourself to receive this new love in your life. And then in that, getting reflections, yeah, with things that were you kind of knew but you didn't know, like these blind spots into yourself. So yeah, that question came up for you, like, am I, how much am I performing? Like,
Yeah.
who am I?
Yeah, because even in performing, I feel like performing is my authentic self, because I feel like that is but maybe it's not. Maybe I just tricked myself into thinking it was.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, well, now it's like your authentic self is all these different parts of you, right? The part of you that is performing, and there's also the part of you that's aware of that's not all of me, and the part of you that's having the sadness about, wait, what is the part of me that I actually kept hidden that I'm scared of being seen, that I'm scared to show?
Mm.
Yeah.
Like
I
all of
think
it,
I
your unified truth. Mhm.
I think I feel like so many thoughts are coming up. So many feelings about what that is, or why that is,
Yeah.
or why. Okay. Because basically it seems to me that performing is a heightened version of a reality,
Yeah.
and being enough as, like, what if I'm just kind of even keel, like low key, maybe not all the time, but like, what I think the question is what if is that enough to sustain someone's attention? Is being
Mm.
just, is that enough?
Wait, being the heightened version, is that enough?
No, not being the heightened version, being the
Oh.
authentic version
Oh.
enough to
Yeah.
sustain someone's attention. I think really it's more than enough, because it feels sincere, it feels whole.
There's so many elements of that. I think about like my teacher persona when I'm in the front of the classroom trying to engage with students, and my performative self comes out because I'm trying to engage them at a high level too. Like you become almost this actor on stage. And then when you leave the classroom, you feel so drained because you were on high alert and speaking very loudly and gesturing with your hands and trying to entertain in some ways. It's like hyperactivity almost. Or you're being extra silly or like extra, you know, like, hey, everybody. And like, that's like the certain moment that then passes later. Then you have to, like, especially as introverts, I feel like I have to recharge from that performance, even though that is an element of who you are. Like you have this fun energy, but that's not your constant on switch all the time. It's like a part of the whole.
Right. So is it okay to exhibit that sometimes, even if that's not your like, is it okay to perform in some environments?
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
being
I
a
think you have
teacher,
to.
is it? I mean, in your opinion, Kwanya?
Oh my God.
Will the
I feel like
students
the fact that
answer?
this question in itself is very interesting. As if, like, why would it not be okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I think there are different types of performance too, because I think about a teacher who perhaps has a very calm and centered energy, like maybe a kindergarten teacher or something, and they speak in a very like soft and soothing voice. And it's almost that kind of energy that brings the children in because they're like, wow, this is so quiet. This space
Yeah.
is bringing attention to the quiet. I don't know.
yeah. But that's natural to that person.
Yeah,
So that person's not putting on a,
that's true. These are interesting questions.
But then it's like context, right? But she wouldn't be using that persona at the like ball game.
Mm. Mhm.
I don't know. I'm just, at the sports.
That's the sports reference we threw in there. Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday.
let's keep it relevant. Let's keep it relevant at the ball game. For all those sports fans out there.
All you sports people out there, there you go.
Not me, but yeah.
Yeah. So maybe she has a different side of herself for the ball game.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. But, and also what you asked before is my non-performance persona, like this feeling of, is it enough?
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the aha?
Yeah.
I know where that comes from.
What?
Because when I was when I was a kid, I started acting and stuff and going on to auditions and stuff when I was like 8 or 10, probably 10. And I would go to auditions and I would be given like a cookie to give me like more energy. Like, here's some sugar. And then I'd be like encouraged to be like, make sure you have a lot of energy. Cause I was really shy. Like, make sure you're like really like really all these things that I wasn't. I was just shy and like uncomfortable with myself. And I felt like I internalized that in order for people to like me or like to book a job or something, I would have to put on this act and I would have to like push myself outside of my comfort zone because I wasn't like just as me, I wasn't enough.
Mm.
And I did not book jobs at that age because I was awkward.
Okay, there you go. So
So it didn't work because it wasn't authentic, I think.
do you feel like the pain from earlier today with Lorenzo, you feel like that's connected to this pattern that started then with
Yeah. Yeah.
the child?
Yeah. Because it's kind of like a confusion.
Or you were encouraged to like be something else than what you were naturally feeling.
Mhm. I've never thought about this before, honestly, just until right now.
See the stuff that comes up just randomly in relationship dynamics.
Yeah, this is why it's so great. Like you want to get all these triggers are good because it's helping you become aware. So I want to ask you, Barry, what does it feel like to uh like if you just think about you being in your non-performance persona and just you standing there and the spotlight's on you, what comes up for you?
What comes up is, can I hold anyone's attention just by being me or by being this energy?
You hold my attention.
Well, that's all
Just
that
like,
matters.
I'm like, I don't want this performative stuff. I just want you. I want to watch you.
Thank you.
I like the inner Barrie.
Thank you.
I want everyone else to love and appreciate the inner Barrie.
Thank you. Same.
So that
Just pretend that there's a whole eye full of me, just like staring at you.
look, you
Sorry.
manifested this here. So this exists, like Lorenzo exists within you for you to manifest Lorenzo with someone who is really appreciating seeing you without the persona, and it is beyond enough.
Mm, it is beyond enough.
Yeah. And I feel that when I see other people, like you, when I look at you or anyone, I mean, I appreciate people when they're just being themselves. Because it feels you can tell, I feel like.
Yeah.
Intuitively.
Okay, so I want to talk to the shadow part of you that sees yourself differently, that doesn't feel that you are enough without the extra performance.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no Lorenzo in the crowd. Sorry, just for a moment. What does that feeling state?
What does it say?
Yeah, like what does it feel like to feel like you're not able to hold everyone's attention just as you are?
It just feels like I don't like I'm irrelevant, or I don't have a place in the world. Or what is my purpose if I'm not having people's attention?
Yeah. Yeah. And do you remember the first time you felt this way?
Uh
Did you first feel this? Feeling irrelevant. You don't have a place in this world.
I don't know the first time. Mhm.
What's more important is just I'm gonna just have you keep feeling into that feeling.
So do you think it's good to feel it?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think, do I perpetuate it by feeling it? Do I manifest more of it by feeling it? So I get scared to feel it.
I'm
Feel
so
it.
glad you're asking this because this is, yeah, this is good. What we want is for you to surrender to feeling this because you having this fear that it's going to perpetuate if you don't feel it is actually a form of resistance.
Oh.
And it's blocking you from actually like really moving past it through it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So so actually what we want to do is help you to like what's going to help you to fully go into feeling this. It's like you're letting yourself merge with this part of you that is feeling this way. It's not all of you, but it's like a fragment of you that was traumatized. Trauma being some sort of distress that happened that was left unresolved. And so it kind of stays in its own separate chamber. And what we're doing is we're identifying that, oh, there's a part of you that feels really alone, feeling like you're irrelevant if you don't perform, you don't have a place. And so this part is what we want to bring our attention to and actually give allow that feeling that part of you to fully express itself and like move that energy of that emotion through. So this is the catharsis. We're like,
Oh,
hello, let me embrace you fully. I'm not going to be afraid of you. You're a part of me. I'm going to let you merge with me. I'm going to take care of you. I understand it sucks to feel this way. It's not actually the truth, but it is valid what you feel based on what happened.
mhm. Ah,
It's good stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Start to feel like really charged and vulnerable, right? And this is where now when we start to like open that place up, this is where we can even notice some protector parts coming up, like, no,
Mm.
no, 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 don't go there, don't go there, don't go there.
Yeah.
But we're letting those protectors know, yes, you're here to keep me safe, but also you keeping me away from this feeling is what's perpetuating this from not letting it be fully witnessed
Mm.
and received.
Yeah. Okay. So it's safe to go here.
It is safe to feel this.
Mm.
Your mantra. You could let that feeling know, I'm here with you now. I'm here with you.
Yeah, I mean, I remembered something, but I don't know if it's the same thing because it did.
Like whatever comes up, we just trust that as your consciousness is off. Whatever your consciousness offers, that is the thing we work with. Yeah.
Oh, so we're not judging the memory as this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like anything that comes up, it's like, oh, okay. Because it came up, this is the one we work with. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I had this memory that there was a couple. There was my mom and a couple people were talking outside at a table in our backyard, and I was 3 or something like that, and I was walking around the pool, and I didn't have my floaties on, and no one was paying attention to me, and I was just I don't know what happened, but I fell into the jacuzzi, and I was like flailing, and I couldn't swim because I didn't have my floaties, so I was like essentially drowning, and then finally my mom jumped in and got me. So she saved me, but I just remember it was so scary. And I think, I don't know what that has to do with it though.
Well, okay, so this is something significant that happened, and definitely something very shocking to your 3-year-old self. Yeah. Um, like in that moment where you fell, when you fell in, that was a scary moment. Like, going to be, am I, does anyone know this is happening? Am I alone? Do you recall what you were kind of thinking or feeling in the scariest moment of that?
I don't remember, but it's in my subconscious as the first scary memory of my life.
Yeah.
Because it's the earliest memory I can remember that feels like a traumatic.
Okay.
'Cause I was like just old enough to be able to perceive what was happening.
So what was scary to you about that happening?
Just feeling like out of control, like feeling as if there was, yeah, that was,
Like being helpless?
yeah, helpless because I couldn't do anything to save myself. I was,
Hmm.
yeah, helpless.
like needing others, possibly, or no, in order to,
I don't know.
because you can't save yourself,
To be
then you
alive.
need others to survive in that instance.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Literally need others to survive.
Yeah. And until your mom got you, there was still some gap there where mom wasn't there and you were all alone,
Mhm.
not knowing what's happening, out of control.
Yeah.
So that's a scary, very destabilizing moment.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm gonna have you do is, yeah, you close your eyes and just let yourself kind of see that scene and feel into kind of letting yourself see what you were feeling as a 3-year-old. And prior to mom rescuing you, kind of going into the moment where it was the most scary point. And I'm going to have you, adult Barrie, come and be the loving witness and support for 3-year-old Barrie. I'm just asking, being there to fully validate what 3-year-old Barrie was experiencing all by themselves in that helpless, out of control state. And let 3-year-old Barrie know you are here. You understand completely what's happening. You're seeing this when no one else maybe was seeing it yet. And giving them everything they needed to feel like someone has control over the situation, someone they trust, which is you. And so just validating how scary or shocking it is to suddenly be in this very out of control situation. Just letting feel very know how much they matter. They need to feel fully loved. Mm.
Yeah, I gave that kid a hug and I just held them. Yeah. I feel it's okay.
So Hello? Hello, hello. Uh-oh.
Hello?
Oh,
Hello.
Hi.
So in these, I don't know if there was a connection, but in these just stressful moments is literally when just parts of our consciousness can fragment off. And this is but then later on, because the fragment wants to be integrated back, this is when you could in moments just get these flashbacks happening.
Oh, that's why you get the flashbacks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it kind of seems like it's unconnected, but somehow it is connected, you think?
And somehow, yeah, because this came up in connection to something about you were like the pain or the trigger about feeling irrelevant or not having a place in this world.
mhm.
So that emotional state related to performance, there must be some kind of connection to what you also felt when you fell into the pool and no one saw yet.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be like that I wasn't getting attention at that moment. And then that was a pivotal moment where I felt that, like, maybe if I had had attention on me, then I wouldn't have fallen. And I think I've just always wanted attention. I don't know why. I mean, it just feels like, yeah.
Well, it makes sense why you need
Really?
attention because attention will save your life. Attention,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not getting
Whoa.
attention, you
True.
almost died or thought you were. You're out of
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah.
So were you feeling more fear or whatever feeling it was in the falling into
Mm.
or in the drowning?
I don't remember.
Because they're
It's like a whole experience in
okay.
my mind. It doesn't, I don't remember really.
The reason I ask is because the act of falling returns to the idea of people weren't paying attention to you, so they would have prevented you from falling in the pool in the first place. But then the result of falling is you not being able to breathe or being able to swim. And so that's like the consequence is irrelevance or death.
Yeah.
But it seems like you just mentioned, the falling was more of the cause rather than the
Oh, right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Like you
Right.
fell because you weren't getting the attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I, at least when I first heard the story a few minutes ago, I was more focused on you're already in the pool and not being able to swim in the drowning moment. I wasn't thinking about the act of falling in.
Yeah.
So the attention was given when it was a survival moment of,
Yeah.
Mm,
do you know what I mean?
yeah, like I'll only get attention if it's a big situation that deserves attention.
Yeah. Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mm, okay.
Interesting.
Noting.
Oh, yeah. That's
Wow, went pretty deep.
interesting.
So
Love the deep chat.
now
It's
it's
my favorite.
resolved.
Yeah.
Now it's solved.
Yeah. Yeah. And like what was going through your mind? Yeah. Like before in the state of not getting attention, how that created the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could have. Who knows what? Yeah.
Because in that instance as well, if we're connecting it to the performative topic, you were not purposefully falling into the pool, like it was an accident that
I
you
think
fell.
I'm pretty sure it must have been an accident.
Yeah,
I
I
would
mean,
never.
I would assume a 3-year-old would probably accidentally fall
No,
into a
it
pool.
wasn't on purpose.
Right, right. So my thought is obviously this was an accident. And so when you think of later instances of performance, your intention is to perform more so. You know, like you have to put effort in to make the dramatic scene. And this was an early moment of not trying to make a dramatic scene, but it happened, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Love this.
Yeah. How do you feel right now related to your non-performance persona? So,
Right now, I don't feel like I'm performing. I feel good. I feel like I'm being seen and I feel great. Like it's more fulfilling to be received when you're not performing. It's more fulfilling to be seen in that light.
It's also more sustainable.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good word. Because it doesn't take more energy. It takes it kind of reminds me of that. Yeah, it just takes just the efficient amount of energy.
and maybe it even generates more energy.
Ooh.
Oh my God. Because I've had this feeling like I feel like I'm tired all the time. But what if it was just a result of over exuding more energy than necessary and thinking that that was necessary? And now, if I just exude the right amount, like I can have endless energy.
Abundance.
Abundance,
Yeah.
right?
Energy.
Unblocking abundance. You really just yourself, like honoring what your energy is and knowing that that's enough. You don't have to be extra strained or efforted to be more than what you are. Like that's the thing that's depleting you and making you feel scarcity.
Love that.
Oh my God. And also one more thing with that, like my family, I have a very when my family gets together, like cousins and everything, I have so many cousins and stuff that are so like loud and fun and talkative, like very gregarious, I suppose is the word. And I'm like very introverted and kind I mean, we'll have like intimate conversations to like one person at a time. And like I don't really do the group thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, anyway, so I think it's also connected to that like feeling like, oh, I don't fit in. Like I'm not like that's what's good. That's what's normal. That's what's
Mm.
that's what's
Or shame.
wanted. Yeah. Shame around being like a quiet person.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like a quiet person when I'm talking to someone one-on-one, there's endless things to talk about.
Yeah.
It feels abundant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that idea is carried into a lot of subjects or a lot of areas.
Yeah. And we live in a world that really does just, yeah, values more extroverted energy, it seems like.
Oh my.
You know? Like if you're not high intensity and in this, yeah, the very extra young energy, that's just what gets praised. I think things are shifting though, but kind of that is the vibe. So it makes sense why introverts feel like, oh, if I'm not like that, then it's less valuable.
I feel that way too. Like coming here, for example, to visit, this is my first time.
Yeah.
Meeting Barry's family and being in California for the first time in 10 years. And in some instances, I can be very performative as well. And it's almost like I'm holding my breath, trying to think about everybody else's needs and everybody else's expectations and how everyone else is perceiving me. And you feel so straitjacketed in that experience of being amongst others. And I think being able to be here and just be myself and breathe. And I feel like safe and secure and everything's fine. Okay. I'm glad you felt that. we don't need to talk about too much, but
I love that.
that feeling of like, because I am able to feel at ease, my energy can flow without blocks or resistance. And if I was uptight and performing and holding my breath, I'd feel exhausted, depleted, and that scarcity mindset of like, am I enough to be in this space, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't realize you can have an abundance of energy. I mean, energy. This is a mind opening. Exactly.
Yeah.
This changes everything.
Wow. Yeah. It does.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. I love
Thank
it. I love 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 it.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, the orbiting is back.
Mhm.
I think we need to start with the order.
Orbit.
Yeah. We just saw your orbit.
Is Max there?
Yeah.
Max?
Max.
I can see.
Maxwell.
Max.
Hello.
Hi.
Wait, wait.
What is what? Oh,
Catharsis.
catharsis.
Very nice.
So cool. Oh my gosh.
He has such a beautiful smile, doesn't he?
Yeah, you got a beautiful smile.
Oh, gorgeous.
You're
Truly quite pure.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
I feel like that this is the Valentine's Day special.
Aw.
Very appropriate.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Abundance orbit.
Abundant.
Oh.
Abundance orbit.
Yeah. That's the next merch item.
Yeah.
Where you have a baby just orbiting.
Orbit thing.
Well, I just love this alchemy conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so helpful.
I'm so glad to meet you, Lorenzo, and I'm just
Me too.
energy
Yeah. Same.
emanation.
Oh, it's
You
wonderful to meet you as well. I've heard so many good things just through talking to Barrie, but also binging all of your content on YouTube. So so happy to be here for it and so honored to be a part of it today.
Yeah, I hope we can all get together in person too.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the future.
Fun. Mm-hmm.
But you are the best. You two are the best. And happy 6 months.
Yeah,
And
happy 6 months. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Everybody's just so cute. I love it.
yeah.
Amazing. Okay, well, I will close our session for today, but you guys can still stay on, but yeah. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you.
Tuning in the future, and yeah. Yes. Hope you enjoyed all the revelations today. Toodaloo.